I've been long overdue to share what's next after New Zealand. I feel at this point, especially if I'm weeks away from leaving, it's time to share where my travels will bring me next. So I'm just gonna get straight to the point. My travels are gonna bring me across the Pacific Islands and eventually back to Hawaii by the end of the year. Where I plan to stop, show you a map. Picked this up from a local library, and there's a map of the Pacific. So here I am. I'm in New Zealand, obviously. I'm in Auckland. I will be first catching a one-way flight to Tonga, its capital, Tongatapu. I really don't know how long I'll be spending in these islands, but I'm looking at a 4-month time period around the Pacific before I make it to Hawaii. I was debating on going to Niue, but the round-trip tickets are really expensive, and I'm not sure if I would be able to hitch a yacht from Niue to Tonga. If I had more time, I would have realistically gone that route, but looks like I'm just gonna go straight to Tonga, which I'm happy with. I plan on going to Tonga because it would have been the last place I traveled to before I reached New Zealand, but that didn't happen. And it's also supposed to be the last remaining kingdom of Polynesia. The next stop will be the world famous and beautiful Fiji. I don't plan on spending any time in the coral coasts, that most tourists go to. I'm looking to get a taste of the real Fiji. I'll be quite honest, before I planned this trip, I really didn't know much about Fiji, so I spent the past couple of months in Auckland reading and researching and utilizing the local library to understand Fiji a bit more, and that's how I kind of understood what parts are more suited to me as a backpacker. I'll most likely be spending my time in this part of the island and one of these islands here. I do enjoy some luxury, but my luxury is embracing culture and engaging with locals and doing it on the cheap, but having a rich experience. That's just how I am. From Fiji, I can go either two ways, but both destinations will be definite. One of those is a cargo ship ride, a possible cargo ship ride up to Tuvalu. Tuvalu is one of my top 5 desired destinations at the moment, as it's so rich and beautiful in culture. And because of rising sea levels, it is unfortunately one of those island nations that will be erased off the planet in the next 50, 100 years, or maybe in the next 20, who knows. This is my opportunity and chance to do this, and I cannot wait to go to Tuvalu. From here, looking to catch a flight up to Kiribati, the Gilbert Islands, up to Tarawa. Kiribati is another one of my top 5 destinations. It came first before Tuvalu. It was where I intended on going before New Zealand. This travel path is so much better than my original plan, and it's just going to work out so beautifully. But Kiribati does have a number of islands that will, just like Tuvalu, suffer from rising sea levels. Tarawa, the capital of Kiribati, is also the site of one of the fiercest battles during the Pacific Theater in World War II. They still have machinery and guns, and it's just something I have to see from my own eyes. I'm not really necessarily going just for the beauty and being in the Pacific, but there is also a perspective to gain from overpopulation on some of these islands. I do want to spend some time in the outer islands, but it just depends on what I can afford. Despite wanting to have that cultural touch with these islands and these people, I do plan on spending some leisure time because, why not? If I don't go straight to Tuvalu, I could find myself on a flight to Nauru, which I have to say, Nauru has a very, very unusual visa process that I've been working on the past several months that will have to put in a little extra work. So I'll put in a different video if people have interest. Regardless of where I come from, I'll ultimately end up in Kiribati. It's not Kiribati, it's Kiribati. From here, I'll fly up to the Marshall Islands, which is in kind of sort of a US territory, to Majuro or Mayuro, I don't know how you pronounce it, but I look to do at least the main atoll, or neighboring atoll. Yeah, I can't talk. The Marshall Islands has been another island nation popped up on my travels, just more so recently. But just going will give me additional perspective of island life in the Pacific, in the Central Pacific, and the cultural experience I'll have with Marshallese people. Here's where I kind of have an asterisk, but if my budget allows, which is kind of tight because New Zealand dollars are hard to kind of use outside of New Zealand, I do want to spend some time in the Federated States of Micronesia, also known as Micronesia. Micronesia does have a lot to offer. Pohnpei has some beautiful hiking to do, some kayaking to do on outer islands, camping on some atolls, and Kosrae just looks beautiful, if I'm saying these names right. I would love to do some diving, but Chuck is really expensive, so I'll probably find myself in Pohnpei and Kosrae before finding my one-way flight to Oahu, gathering place in Hawaii, where my girlfriend awaits my arrival and has been awaiting since I left Hawaii last year. Now this looks like the definite itinerary of what I'll be doing after I leave New Zealand. This is something I've worked hard for. It's been a lot of work, a lot of hard work. This is a long-awaited dream come true. I've wanted to travel the Pacific for many years, but more so in the past year, I ruptured my Achilles tendon last year on the Big Island of Hawaii, which was my first island of many on a trip that would have happened, which is why this trip is so much more meaningful and is gearing me to do this. I don't plan to see the entire Pacific, as this is probably going to be one of 2 or 3 or 4 segments of Pacific Island travel in my life. It's very hard to do it all. I'm probably not going to see it all, but I do plan on making the best of my time and where I'm going. So I'm going to explain why I'm going back to Hawaii. I ruined my own plans to see the islands by injuring my foot on my first island in Hawaii. My first island in all this travel. Didn't get the chance to experience Hawaii like I wanted to. I did hitchhike, camp, and hike around the Big Island, but that was all I got to experience, leaving Maui, Molokai, Lanai, Kauai, and even Oahu. But the biggest reason I'm going back is because of love. In the middle of waiting for surgery, I went to get coffee in downtown Honolulu, and I met this woman who would eventually become my girlfriend. Someone I would truly deeply fall in love with. I call her my angel, and Angel and her family took me into their home to help me get back on my feet, help me with my doctor appointments, get me through physio, help me with physio at home, and put a roof over my head to be able to get me back on my feet. And is the reason why I am here today, living this dream in New Zealand, being able to talk here and explain all my travels and be able to live my ultimate dream, and that's travel. It's because of my angel and her family. Because if I wanted to fulfill my working holiday visa before it expired, I had to leave. Leaving allowed me and my current girlfriend to grow in a relationship and fall in love. And little did we know, this relationship we thought would fall apart ended up being stronger. Hey kitty. My girl is awaiting my arrival. As cliche as this love travel story may sound, it is very much real and is very much a part of my life and my travels. After I arrive in Hawaii, that's not where it stopped. My family did book a trip to Hawaii where they'll reconnect with me and meet me again. My mom is flying into Honolulu on New Year's Eve, where we'll spend some time on Oahu. My grandparents and my stepdad will arrive a week later, where we'll spend some more time on Oahu before flying to Maui, an island I didn't get to see when I was in Hawaii last year. Just enjoy family time with them before they head home, and I continue my life in Hawaii. I will have to find work, I will have to find a place to live and set up a life in Hawaii. I'm quite fearful of how that'll turn out, as Hawaii is a place where people around the world want to come to. People from the mainland want to set up a life there, but I've taken chances throughout my entire travels. How is this any different? I do anticipate having an incredible life there with my girl and just simply living the Hawaiian life. I love Hawaii. I love the aloha energy I get from the islands. I don't know what my travels will look like long term. I will probably be in Hawaii for about a year and change before I decide to continue on. I do have some time to do the working holiday visa in Australia before I turn 31. It looks like I may do that, which means I'll most likely continue on with segment 2 of my Pacific Island travel. I've been really dying to go to American Samoa since I was 15. Including Western Samoa. It's kind of far out, so there's not really any way to tell where else I'll go. Maybe Tahiti or Niue like I wanted to originally. Maybe Solomon Islands, Vanuatu, Papua New Guinea before I reach Australia. Depends on how much money I make, but this is my life here. I've been living in Polynesia in the Pacific for over a year. I absolutely love it. This is a major chapter of my life that I've been enjoying and I'm going to continue to enjoy in so many new and different ways. And that's the beauty of travel, is just the unknown can be amazing. It can be scary all at once. But again, everything works itself out. That basically sums up my short and long-term plans. I'm only a few weeks away from leaving. I've got my motorcycle on sale here in New Zealand and just enjoying the Pacific and returning to my angel in Hawaii. Cheers guys, this is the beginning to an amazing playlist of my travels around the Pacific Islands. And I can't wait to share. So as always, stay tuned and happy travels.